Thank you very much for tuning into my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Mary Mugo, a consultant, a senior lecturer, a dean of faculty, and this YouTube channel is to help you in matters strategy, in matters leadership, in matters HR, and in matters corporate governance and marketing. Now today I just want to, being the first week of the year, I want to talk about strategy implementation. Now you understand that a strategy will remain a fantasy if it is not successfully implemented. Many organizations today have great strategic plans that have continued to gather dust on the shelves because they are not implemented. In fact, last year, almost all of us had plans that we had for the year, and we never achieved most of them. The question is why? Why are counties doing so much, spending millions of shillings, organizations spending millions of shillings, even nations spending millions of shillings, coming up with strategic plans, but nothing seems to happen? It is simply poor strategy implementation. Now, two key things are important if you have to implement your strategy well. One of them is culture, and the second one is leadership. Two major things. And even as a person, you need to understand, as you continue doing your plans for the year and objectives of what you need to achieve, culture and leadership will play a part. And today I want to speak about culture and strategy implementation. Now, to execute your strategy as an organization, you need both the hard and the soft infrastructure. The hard infrastructure is your structure, your systems. And your structure must always follow your strategy. You know, many organizations have a structure and then they start fitting their strategy in. That is not the right way to do things. You must ensure that your structure follows your strategy. That is the hard infrastructure. The soft infrastructure, on the other hand, is the culture of the organization. And that is what I want to talk about today. What is culture? Culture is the shared learned values and norms. It is the way you do things. It is the way of thinking, the way of feeling, the way of reacting. It is that pattern of thinking that is collective, that differentiates you from another person. And all of us have a culture. Even in Kenya, for instance, we know there are different cultures. There are people who are known to do things faster. There are people who are known to just not do a lot of things. But what is organization culture? Organization culture is the way you conduct business and the way you treat your employees, your clients, and your community. And organization culture is very, very important if you have to implement your strategy. Now, an organization culture is made up of the common belief about your business. How is business done? You've heard people saying in organization, this is the way we do things around here. That is culture. What are the shared values? What are the shared principles? All that is culture. And today I want to very briefly let you know that organization culture can either enhance or inhibit strategy implementation. Therefore, it is important for your culture and your strategy to closely match if you have to have effective implementation. A culture that supports strategy shapes the mood of the staff, influences their energy positively, and ensures that their shared values are good. And I want to bring to you three types of organization culture that are very relevant for strategy implementation. And one of them, which I want to discuss today, then I'll discuss the other two next time, is the weak versus the strong culture. Number two, we have the unhealthy culture. And then number three, we have the adaptive culture. So today I want to talk about the weak and the strong culture and how it affects strategy implementation. Now, an organization with a strong culture carries its business with a clear, widely understood philosophy that is guided by widely shared and deeply rooted values. You would know that your organization has a strong culture if, for example, the selection and recruitment of your new staff is carefully done to fit in. In other words, an organization that has strong culture selects and recruits staff that can fit into the organization. There are visible rewards that are given to those who follow accepted norms. And of course, penalties are leveled against those who don't. So a strong culture is relevant for your strategy implementation. Some strategies require you to have a very strong culture. Sometimes a strong culture, strategically speaking, can also inhibit your strategy implementation because people are not willing to change. On the other hand, an organization that has a weak culture has many subcultures, very few shared values, very weak traditions, no cohesion at all among departments. Everybody is doing whatever they want to do. No allegiance. People are there just because they want something. At the end of the day, there is no allegiance to the company's vision, no allegiance to the company's strategy. In other words, an organization culture has a lot to do with how you implement your strategy. For instance, look at our counties today, look at our nation today. Why is it that Singapore used the strategic plan of Kenya and is where it is today, yet we are behind? It is because whatever it is that we had gathered dust and nobody implemented. So it is important to understand the weak versus the strong culture. It is important also to understand that leaders must establish the values that are consistent with the needs of the customers, the competitive conditions, the strategic needs, and all that has to do with culture. So we are saying that weak versus strong culture affects how you implement your strategy. There are other two types of culture, the unhealthy culture, the adaptive culture. But as I said earlier, I'll look at those two cultures next time. Now, you can find a lot of this information in my books. And one of my books is The Winning Strategy, How to Use Strategic Planning to Build Effective Organizations. And this book will give you practical one-on-one on how you can craft your strategic plan, how you can implement. It has how strategy formulation, how do you ensure you come up with your vision, how do you come up with your mission, how do you come up with objectives that are relevant, how do you do strategy implementation, how do you ensure you evaluate your strategy implementation. Because as I said earlier, a strategy is a fantasy unless it is successfully implemented. Your plans that you have done for the year will remain plans on paper unless you do something about it. Even God requires us to do something about the things that we want to achieve this year. God requires us to have movement. You don't just sit there and say, I have great plans for the year. You must do something about it. My second book, Growing a Business Empire, a foreword by Man Chandaria, How to Effectively Manage Leadership Succession for Organizational Growth, will also give you a few cultures of especially family businesses and how you can ensure that your strategy succeeds. These books, you can get them directly from me, who is the author, by texting or calling 0733 297 287 or 0776 045 087, or you can go to my website www.marymugo.com and write an email to info@marymugo.com, and we will give you this book. Until next time, God bless you and be more strategic this year and achieve your plans.